Hey everybody, it's Emily at ARC Schooling, and today I'm going to do a morning basket review haul, I don't know, for April. I haven't done a morning basket video in a little while because nothing had changed and I just didn't feel like doing it when it's all the same. I've just changed it up a little bit this month, so I thought it would be a good time to talk about what we're doing. So, what's in our morning basket? We do history, science, poetry, art. Those are like the main theme items in our morning basket, and everything revolves around that. We don't do everything every day. I'm going to show you a lot of books, and it looks overwhelming, but we don't do all of this every day. We do like history maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and we do science 2 or 3 times a week. So, and we never do history and science on the same day. Poetry is usually once or twice a week. Art is once or twice a week. So yeah, it's all spread out. We don't do everything every day. So on that note, let me show you what we got. Our read aloud right now is The Golden Bull by Marjorie Cowley. And this is a middle grade novel about Mesopotamia. So we're kind of hopped back in time. We're just wrapping up prehistoric time right now. We only stayed there for a little while. And this is the read aloud I picked. We just finished reading The War That Saved My Life, which was fantastic. She loved it. It took us forever. We'd been doing World War II for a long time. So I thought, let's just jump way back in time. So I thought she might enjoy this. We're only a little ways in. I think we're at chapter 5, and she's not loving it yet. And the story's kind of slow, and right now I'm hoping it picks up, because it's so hard to find books like this. I mean, Mesopotamia isn't a hot topic in children's literature, so I'm hoping that this is going to be good. And on that note, for history, I'm doing something a little bit different. I've always used Story of the World for elementary history. It's just been our go-to, and it's always worked out well. I mean, it's an introduction to history. But I have had this book on my bookshelf for about, I'd say 5 years. And I've never actually looked at it more than just a flip through. So I decided, I have it, why not use it? And that book is Gombrich's A Little History of the World, and this is the illustrated edition, so it's full of pictures. It's beautiful. I don't really know a whole lot about this. We're kind of just testing it out. We're only 2 chapters in. And so far, I'm liking it. It's good. Is it as in-depth as Story of the World? No. It's one book and it's 40 chapters, so this is not like anywhere near as comprehensive as Story of the World. But I figured I should at least read it and see if it's anything good. And I figured for what I wanted right now, which is kind of like a crash course to go back and cover the history we already covered in a faster way, that this would be ideal. So I will probably review this. I think I'm going to review this once we've read a little more and let you guys know what I think about it. And along with that, we are still using my handy dandy Usborne World History Encyclopedia, because why wouldn't I? We've used this forever. Like, I've had this copy of this book for, I'm going to say 13 or 14 years. I've been homeschooling for 15 years. So yeah, I've had this for most of the time that I've homeschooled. And you can tell that it is well used. And yeah, the spine broke a while ago. I've got it taped. It's falling apart, but we love it. And along with history, we're also delving into mythology. So I have 2 books we're using for that. I have the Belief book. This is by David G. McAfee and Chuck Harrison. We also have another book they wrote. I think it's called The Book of Gods. But we already read that a while ago, and we never got around to this one. So this, I will point out, comes from an atheist perspective. So that isn't something you might want in your homeschool. But if it is, I highly recommend this because it is very well written. It's well done. It's really cute. And yeah, it's the perfect jumping off point, I would say, for discussing topics like what is belief and how did people come to those thoughts and what is religion and what is praying and those kinds of things. So I think that this is a great jumping off point for discussions from a secular perspective. We're also using, of course, Sarah's book, World Mythology for Children. I am excited to read this with Regina. Sarah might be reading some of it with her too. We haven't quite worked that out yet. We haven't started it yet because we just finished prehistory, so we don't have any myths for prehistory. But I think this is going to be really fun to read, and that is our history basically. And for art, we are using the Art Book for Children books. We're doing the white book right now. And I talked about this in my grade 1 video, update video, and we're really enjoying it. I really like that it's basically like a Charlotte Mason picture study kind of idea on a smaller scale, because you're not getting like a lot of their art from each artist, but you could go further with it if you wanted to. But what I really appreciate is that this book really helps you to learn how to look at a picture. It gives you things to talk about with your child. And it's really a great starting place for if you really want to study art but you don't know how. This book is fantastic for that. I highly recommend this series. There's 2 books. It's the white book and the yellow book. And of course, we're also using this for our art studies. Vincent's Starry Night and Other Stories. We kind of started it over, although we really never got that far in the first place. We were only, I would say, like 8 chapters in at most. So we just jumped back a little bit to go back over it. And of course, she doesn't mind because this book is fantastic and we both really enjoy reading it. Each chapter is a piece of art or an artist, and it just sort of gives a story as to how that piece of art came about. And sometimes it's speculation. Obviously, when you're talking about prehistoric art and cave paintings and things like that, it's not exact science as to how this came about and why they did it. When you get to artists and more modern art, the stories are more about what actually happened and why a painter did something the way that they did, and we are really enjoying it. And I like how it dovetails with our history. And speaking of history, I just remembered I had one more book in my pile that I forgot was a history book. I had it under my art book, and that is A Child Through Time, the book of children's history. If you follow Build Your Library on Facebook, you'll know that I just talked about this book because I am super excited about it. I literally just found this. I was scrolling through Amazon looking for something completely different when this book came up as a recommendation, and I was like, wait a second. What is that? I love the DK books, Children Just Like Me, where they take a child from a different country and show you how they live and what kind of clothes they wear and what foods they like to eat and where they go to school and all of that. I love those books. My kids love those books. They're fantastic. And so when I saw this, I was so excited. This is the same idea, but with historical children. So you get a child from a different time in a different place and how they lived in that time and place. So you have a Maya girl, and you have an ancient Roman girl, and you have a girl living during the Civil War, and a boy living in the American Revolution, and it's awesome. It's so great. This book is fantastic, and I love that it weaves in real historical figures throughout. So you have Tutankhamun when you're talking about ancient Egypt. You have Ruby Bridges when you're talking about civil rights era. You have Anastasia during World War I and the Russian Revolution. You have Marie Antoinette during the French Revolution. So it covers real people as well as fictional people, and it's beautiful. I'm really excited about this book. We've only read the first one, but that was prehistory. So I'm very excited to get into this. And yeah, I wish this book had existed a long time ago. I would have been all over that as a kid. For poetry, we are reading nature poetry right now. The National Geographic Book of Nature Poetry. We've borrowed this from the library a couple of times, and I finally bought a copy because we love it so much. It's beautiful. It's got gorgeous photography and beautiful poetry to kind of go with the nature theme. It's beautiful. For her independent reading, she still reads to me. And right now we are working through Traorus and the Enchanted Crystal by Dan TDM. Is this great literature? No. Is this a book I would have picked? No. But my reluctant reader is obsessed with it right now, and she begged me to buy this for her. And I couldn't say no to that. It's a book, so anything that makes her want to pick up a book and read, we're all in. So we're almost done with this, thankfully, because I'm about ready to be done with this. But she's excited, so that's what matters. And when she finishes that, we'll probably be we'll probably finish it in the next few days. Then we're going to be reading the next Zoe and Sassafras book, Caterflies and Ice. We got this a ways back, right before Christmas, and in all the chaos of Christmas, it got misplaced, and it took me forever to find it. I literally only found this a few weeks ago, and I was so excited. I pulled it back out, but we already started the other book, so we're waiting to finish that, and then we're going to be reading this together. This one's a little more challenging than the Dan TDM book, so we're probably going to buddy read it, which means that I'll read a page and then she reads a page and we go back and forth. And yeah, we'll be reading this one together, and if she enjoys this one, and I know she will, she loved the other three, then I also have the next book that just came out like a few days ago. So I also have the next book in the series, The Pod and the Bog. Yeah, The Pod and the Bog, so we'll be reading both of these in the next little while. For science, we have this in our basket. We do this probably once a week, and it's 65 short mysteries you solve with science. And we just read one mystery a week and talk it out. I like that it teaches you to think it through and really try to understand what's happening and use your logic. You don't need to know a lot about science to be able to solve the mysteries. It's more of a logic puzzle kind of a thing, but they're based on science. For our science studies, we just finished up, like today, we just finished working through space. And we finally finished talking about space, and we're both ready to move on. And so I was trying to decide what we were going to do next. And I decided that because I had been wanting to take her to the aquarium for ages. We keep saying we need to go to the aquarium, but it's in Boston, and it's kind of it's an all-day adventure. It's a little bit expensive, so we kept putting it off. We're like, oh, nobody wants to go to Boston right now. We're not city people. But I decided that, yeah, we really should go to the aquarium because Regina's never been. We haven't been since the older kids were all little. And I decided we should do that. It is a thing I really wanted to make happen. So in order to really push ourselves, we're going to be studying the ocean. So I have, as our main book, I have Pagou by Halling Clancy Halling. I have actually never read this one. We've read some of his other books in the time we've been homeschooling, not with Regina, but my older kids and I. And we've always enjoyed his books. And so we're going to read Pagou, and this is all about a crab, a hermit crab, I believe. His name is Pagou, and he lives in a tide pool. So this is really focusing around what lives in tide pools. I also, let's see, what do I have? I just bought a few new books. So I also bought her Let's Explore the Ocean. This is a Lonely Planet Kids sticker book. And it's like a sticker activity book, so, you know, it comes with stickers to add in. It has little activities to do. It's just cutesy and fun, and it's nothing deep, but I thought it might make a fun addition. This is a book I picked up because it was only $3, so I couldn't pass it up. It's Ruth Heller's How to Hide an Octopus and Other Sea Creatures. What I like about this is the art, really. It's beautifully illustrated. The text is very minimal, but it's really more about the art. I love how it's basically you're looking through the picture to find the hiding camouflaged animal. So it's very cute, and I love Ruth Heller's artwork. I also have Coral Reefs by Jason Chin, all about the coral reefs, obviously. So I thought this would make a great addition to our unit. I have How Deep is the Ocean, a Let's Read and Find Out book about the deep, deep ocean. Life at the Bottom. I have A Sea Full of Sharks by Betsy Maestro, which is just exactly what it sounds like. It's all about sharks. It's got beautiful illustrations. I have Watching Whales, this is John F. Waters. This one, the text is a bit more dense, so we're probably not really going to read all of it, or maybe we will, depends on how interested she is. But I have a feeling we're going to be using this more for the beautiful photography and looking at the pictures. I think somewhere in this house, too, I have another book about whales. I just can't find it. I'm like, I'm not buying another whale book until I find the other one. It exists in this house somewhere. And finally, I have a book about baby penguins. If you've never been to the Boston Aquarium, they have a huge penguin display, and it's beautiful, and we love watching them. They're adorable. And so I thought she might enjoy reading about baby penguins because she likes anything that's cute. And what is cuter than a fluffy penguin baby? They're adorable. Basically, the unit is really going to be mostly me reading books to her about life in the ocean. We might watch some videos. I know Blue Planet, I think, was still on Netflix. I'm hoping it was a while ago. So I'm hoping it's still on Netflix because I want to watch that with her. And we might do some other activities. I don't know yet. We're mostly just going to be reading, and she'll probably be drawing a lot of animals and fish. And that's going to be the extent of that unit. And then we're going to go to the aquarium, and it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited. So that is what's in our morning basket, and I won't say just for April. It's probably going to be our morning basket through May, probably through the end of the year. I don't see anything major changing outside of like our read aloud. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing for the rest of the school year. Can you believe that it's almost the end of the year? Like, my brain is still in like November. I feel like it can't possibly be the end of the year. But here we are in April. Like, it just snuck up on me. So yeah, so what's in your morning basket? I'd love to know. Let me know down below in the comments and we can chat. If you like what you've seen here, please remember to subscribe for more content. I try to update my channel every week and put something out there. Sometimes it's about homeschooling, sometimes it's about reading, sometimes it's about build your library. So yeah, I try to get something up on my channel every week. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.
Bye.